Hello, my name's Kevin Wensley. I'm the National Sales Manager for Hylas Yachts USA. And thank you for joining me today to check out this latest award-winning addition to the Hylas range, the Hylas 57. She won Best in Show at Newport this year. She's won Best Systems from Sales Magazine, but the most coveted award of all was winning Best Boat Overall Cruising World 2022. So I'm going to talk you through some of the benefits of this yacht. And what we have is something that has the Hylas reputation for quality and finish, coupled with Bill Dixon, the designer's reputation for form and functionality. So I'd like to start by just telling you a little bit about some of the features that you can't see. The hull itself is a cord hull. We're using closed-cell divinacell foam that not only is 40% stronger and 8% lighter than a hand layup, but it also allows us to add a couple of levels of quality assurance. We're doing active and passive infrared scanning, as well as the usual sonic sounding that you might expect from the industry as a standard. We've also got the twin helms. The twin helms isn't extraordinary, and even the twin rudders, although they add about 4 times the efficiency of a single rudder with a skeg, what Hylas has done is we've gone that one step further, and we've introduced as standard a second drive for the auto helm. I'm not sure if you guys have ever been on passage and your auto helm goes out 4 or 5 days out. That makes for a challenging few days as you make your final approaches. Being able to flick a switch, have the auto helm come back to life, and you start to enjoy the passage again is so important on a yacht like this. So one of the features that we're not seeing on this particular yacht, but it is an option, is to actually have the hydraulic swim platform for super easy access to dinghies, room to relax in the sunshine, also access to other watercraft, paddle boards, canoes, kayaks, that kind of thing. But with that, the aft section folds up and the transom becomes continuous. We add to that a couple of deck wings that fold flat onto the surface, and that really opens up this aft deck to become a huge social space. You gain about 20 square feet of deck. So that, in combination with the ability to reverse the helm seats, so suddenly now I've got expansive aft area that I can really enjoy time with myself, my family, my friends. We've got the seats in the aft quarters. And then just to make it super for après sail activity, we have an automated shade that comes out of the hardtop. Push button, out comes the shade. This opens up, you fire up the grill, you get your sundowner, and life is good. So Bill gave us, I mentioned the twin helms, but the twin control centers, the standard comes with a pretty comprehensive electronics package. You do have thruster, you do have obviously the throttle controls, the chart plotters, the auto helms, everything you would expect. But what's really nice about this yacht is it's completely duplicated on both sides. So the primary controls that you need for things like docking, like your throttle, like your bow and stern thrusters, access to a wheel, you have that on both sides. And with a 17-foot beam, it's nice to be able to move over to the close side of the dock as you're parking. The other thing that we said to Bill was, invariably over the last few years, a Hylas yacht turns up, got great lines, but it doesn't have a bimini or a dodger. So immediately on goes the canvas top, the bimini goes on, the dodger goes on, and it looks a little bit like someone's joined a wagon train and they've just put a tent on top of a beautiful yacht. So he said to Bill, that's not going to work for us. We need something that's integrated into the lines of the yacht. So he said, how about the hardtop? We thought that's a great idea and it'll look spectacular. Not only does it protect us from the elements and you don't have to worry about taking it on and off when there's a storm coming, but in addition to that, it's a great platform for putting up the solar panels. So on top of here, we're covered in solar, which is powering the lithium-ion batteries. In addition, around about the mid-90s, I think it was, where the idea of a hard dodger came into play. And invariably, that was something that was a little angular and didn't necessarily lend itself well to the lines of the yacht. So Bill said, how about a nice spray shield? And look at this, it's absolutely beautiful. It's tempered glass, you can see right through it. The sight lines aren't interrupted. So the combination of the hard top and this beautiful spray shield means we've got a nice rigid structure in which to mount these beautiful screens. So this isn't your standard isinglass, this is a polycarbonate screen that is pretty rigid, but it doesn't chalk, it doesn't crease, but you can't roll it up. So to make it easy, then what we do is we simply unzip the bottom and then the whole panel actually slides up on these rails and then gets stowed underneath the hardtop. So moving back from the helm stations, now along this very uncluttered side deck, what Bill's done again is he's kept all the stanchions, the cleats, the tracks off the side deck, so I don't have to worry about banging my toes as I walk forwards. The stanchions are all at least 30 inches high off deck, so plenty of protection. And then to make things easy for a cruising couple, in terms of the sail plan, Bill has gone for the Solent rig versus what you might expect to see on a more classic Hylas as a cutter rig. So the absence of this stay sail really does make it very easy to manage the boat, certainly going upwind and tacking. So the setup with the Solent rig is that we have two sails forwards. The inside sail is your primary upwind sail. So it's a self-tacking jib that's close to 100%, it's about 95. And then once you come upwind and you're on your reach heading to whichever island you're going for next, then you can go ahead and bring out your large Genoa. So the jib goes away, the Genoa comes out, and that's going to be between about 135 and 145%. And then if you're going even further off the wind and your apparent wind speeds are dropping into single digits, and you're thinking, you know, I could use a little bit more sail area, then the big block at the end of the anchor platform is there for you to put up your A sail or your code 0. Now, if you're flying with those kinds of big sails, then you need a big place to stow them. So let's have a quick look in the sail locker here. So this sail locker, actually the spinnaker is in there right now. It's been stowed, it's actually underneath the fender. So there's plenty of room. In fact, if this locker is empty, I can get down in there, stand up and close the lid. Massive volume for stowing big sails. So as I'm walking aft on this beautifully uncluttered foredeck, actually this large screen here, that's the skylight for the VIP suite. So when we get down below, you'll see that. Let's loads of ambient lights into the forward cabin. But our working sails are all furling sails. As standard, they're all power furling. They're all hydraulic, they're from Selden. But what it means is, because they're all furling sails, it means that the halyards aren't needing to be worked every time you raise or lower a sail. So we don't need all that spare line for the halyard getting in the way of our sight lines from the helm. So by putting on these tracks, it makes the tension on the luff of the sail still adjustable, but it also means that we only need one tail to work any of the sails. That really reduces the amount of spaghetti that some folks have got used to seeing hanging from the mast up here. We want to keep the sight lines nice and open from the helm stations. I said everything's power furling. It is. So we have power furling on the jib and the jenny, and we have power furling and it's in-mast furling. It's not the only option, but it is the one that we've gone for. But the really sweet thing about this particular yacht is not only is the in-mast furler a hydraulic powered furler, but the outhaul is also hydraulic power. So that means it really is simply two fingers, two buttons, sail comes out, two buttons, sail goes away again. Super easy. So what you can see here, we've got a nice clean walk through to the cockpit, and everything after this step is really about running the yacht. All the lines run after these power winches. That's all power as standard. The helm stations are here, but why we're able to make this so clear and easy to walk through is that we have this arch supporting the hardtop, but the extra benefit of that is this carbon reinforced arch actually allows us to use the German sheeting system. So our main sheet actually ends on top of the arch. Therefore, this area is wide open. Everything aft is about driving the yacht. Everything forwards at this step is about socializing and primarily about wine and cheese. The wings on the cockpit table fold up and you could seat easily 8 people dining. And at the show this week, we were drinking at least 12 when we were sitting around in the cockpit. So just before we go below, I'd like to just highlight a couple of interesting features. This is what I like to describe as a great idea, and it is. It's a great place to stow lines and also shoes. For me, that's what it's all about, where to put my shoes when I go below. The other thing that we have here is a watch station, and it's a watch station. This is obviously a chart plotter that gives you access to information like AIS and radar. It also allows you to access the auto helm, so I can actually steer the boat from here. And then what we haven't got it plugged in right now, is a mic that then gives you VHF communication. So if you're on watch, you don't want to sit at the helm, which none of us do on passage. You want to sit here where it's nice and protected. You're reading your book, you're drinking your coffee, you're looking around. You see a ship coming across the horizon. You check her out. What is it? It's on the AIS. It tells you who she is. You pick up the VHF. You say, hey, it's us. Can you see us? How are we going to go about this crossing situation? everything can be run from right here without having to go after or get yourself exposed if it happens to be raining at the time. So as we come down the stairs into the main salon, one of the things that Bill really wanted to do was make sure that it didn't feel like we were going down into a cave. It wants to be bright, it wants to be airy, and we need lots of natural light. So what Bill did is he raised the cabin sole just a little so that folks of average height like me can actually use the windows in the raised salon. And also when I'm seated, I have great visibility through these oversized port lights. So I have continuous connection with the outside world, which of course lends itself to feeling very spacious. She's 17 feet on the beam, and Bill has a great reputation for using up every inch of space, either for storage or for people space. And we think he's done an amazing job of the volume in this main salon. So the other really big benefit of actually raising this sole just a little is it gives us plenty of space to put in the fuel tanks, the water tanks, and the lithium-ion battery banks. So all that heavy stuff is low and centered over the keel, which of course lends itself to performance. So the lithium-ion batteries in combination with the variable speed air conditioning mean that we can actually run this yacht's air conditioning without a generator, without an engine for at least 8 hours as standard. So that gives us a nice night's sleep with AC on at anchor, no noise from engine or generator. The generator's happier, you feel happier, the generator lasts longer, and you'll probably last longer. Let's move forwards from the main salon into the VIP suite. See what kind of accommodations we've got for your guests. Okay, so coming into the VIP suite, plenty of natural light coming through the nice overhead skylight. We've got the oversized port light, so you've got good visibility outside, see what's going on. Easy access both sides of the bed. We've got his and hers hanging lockers, and we've even got the ensuite bathroom. Nice big shower, plenty of room to breathe in there, and then it also doubles as the day heads if you've got plenty of guests using the main salon or you have crew staying in the crew quarters. So the forward starboard cabin is usually dedicated to over-under bunks, but everyone that's built one of these so far has gone for the utility space idea in here. The washer dryer's in here, so it becomes a bit of a laundry room. There's loads of stories for tools and spare parts. And then underneath this mattress is a stainless steel plate that allows you to really use that space as a workbench as well. Okay, so just before we go through the galley to the master stateroom, let's come and check out the nav station area and the primary access to the engine compartment. So as far as the nav station goes, what we've got is a nice, it's not remote from the main salon. You keep staying engaged with what's happening in here, but it's forward facing and you've got plenty of real estate for any kind of electronics, security systems, cameras, all the VHF and satellite communication systems. There's plenty of room for all the electronics that you would like. We do actually have a CAN bus system that could operate instead of this switch panel. That would make everything easily work from a laptop or an iPad. But most folks, in fact, everybody that's ordered one of these yachts so far just loves what Hylas does with their electrical panel. It's very tactile, it looks pretty, and just take a little look behind the scenes of what's happening at the electrical panel. And it really is a thing of beauty. Everything's color coordinated, everything's clearly labeled. The wires aren't so tight that you can't actually work with them. And when you're looking at our competitors' yachts, I'm always saying to people, beautiful on the surface, dig deep, see what's going on behind the scenes. And when it comes to Hylas, we excel at that particular feature. And so over here, we have the primary access to the engine compartment, very well insulated. So when it's running, you don't have to raise your voice here in the main salon. We've got the Volvo D3, it's a 150 horse. And then we actually, because of the lithium combination, we only need a 9 kW Northern Lights generator. Primary access here, easy access to all the routine service equipment. And then we'll see we have a secondary access also in the master stateroom. Okay, so let's take a look at the galley. And this is where Bill really has worked his design magic. We have the deck area with the raised helm stations moved aft. But what we're doing is we're keeping the primary benefits of having the center cockpit layout down below. So the footwell of the cockpit is actually behind this bulkhead. So what we get is this really nice walk-through galley. Obvious benefits, underway, easy to brace, tons of cutting surface. This is actually a meganite surface, so it's lightweight. It's like coriander, it's a little bit less porous and a bit more heat resistant, so less likely to stain. And then just because of the sheer volume of this particular yacht, we've got plenty of room for appliances like ice makers, trash compactors, drinks coolers, cooker obviously, air fryer, microwave, and then a full-size fridge and 2 freezer drawers. So plenty of room here in the galley. In fact, I like to think of it as the chef's delight galley. But then you come through here into the master stateroom, and we've got a 17-foot beam at midships, which only comes down to about 15.5 back here. So that still gives us plenty of volume to really get this beautiful layout for the master stateroom. Lots of natural light coming in from the oversized port lights and hatches overhead. Plenty of room to sit up in bed and read. And then we are a semi-custom builder, so maybe you want a lounger on the port side instead of starboard, maybe you want more lockers. And then behind these 2 doors, we've got his and hers hanging lockers. Nice big TV on the bulkhead just here, so plenty of relaxation space. You can really spread out. And of course, you have the ensuite bathroom as well. Plenty of room to stretch out. A nice big shower unit you can really breathe in. Lots of storage. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions or would like more information, please don't hesitate to look at our website or give us a call. Remember, the Hylas 57, she splashed the first hull at the beginning of last year. We've already got 5 in build. There's a 6th hull just being processed. If somebody acts quickly, then they could see their Hylas 57 turning up before the end of next year. Thanks for your time.